Alrighty, William and the counter-attacking meta. Now, I have been using it. I've been trying to get a vibe of it, a feel of it on PvE just before, you know, we start cooking things off a little bit. And I don't know how I feel about it. Now, counter-attacking with the release of Luck really didn't exactly take off. And that's, well, I'm talking about it more on the PvP basis, since that's kind of where it's been, or would have been used more. Because PvE you don't really need to kind of cater to the counter-attacking, although I'm over here just kind of figuring things out and whatnot. But anyway, like I said, counter-attacking didn't really take off when Luck released. Now, with William himself, obviously he is the defender of the counter-attacking meta, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not really vibing with it. Although I understand the role that William plays to help out the counter-attack meta, I still don't. I feel like there's still a missing piece. I feel like we're still waiting for something. So right now we can. Okay, so it's on for 1 turn for Luck and Charmy. William is on for 2. So if I do the ultimate, this should extend. Yeah, extend, fortify. Are we getting double? No. And then damage reduction because we've got counter attack applied, and then we get debuff immunity. Okay, so I mean the ultimate itself is pretty hefty. So yeah, clearly the role for the counter attacking defensiveness is coming from William. But the question is that will people still cater to running their counter attacking meta? His damage output is just horrendous, but that's A-OK. Did it extend? I don't even know right now. Let me just double check. Oh, it did. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, so we've got the consistency of the counter-attacking going on, which is going to be pretty nice. So let's just keep the heals going. Of course, with William's Greymore, I'm also getting a great deal amount of healing, so that's also very nice. And then if I did have William's passive, then we can benefit from using Luck's ultimate, because of course the more electrocute the enemy has, then we can benefit from actually doing a ton more damage on that basis. But I think we'll just do the regular attack for now. I don't know how this is going to work out. I feel like I'm still going to get stuck. Okay, he's done a ton of damage. There we go, beautiful, get it all going. And then if I do the first skill, that will put my defense. So the first skill is interesting because it's like per 1000 defense, I get an additional 8% damage. And then I did work on the skill a little bit, so now I've got an 80. Yeah, sorry, yeah. So if counterattack is present, then I get a 80% increased defense. Unfortunately, we can't stack that. So, but the second skill, that pulls Taunt and seals HP recovery ceiling, but we don't need any of that. Okay, so let's do the first skill, work on our defense. So I guess the defensive play with William and Charlotte together, that is pretty tanky. Like the protection is there, so we'll keep up with the counter attacking. I'm not really utilizing the fortify from Charlotte, but that's A-OK. I've also got to keep in mind Charmy also gives us our defense up too. Yeah, it's questionable. It's questionable when it comes to the counter-attacking meta on what I actually feel about it. I will say the consistency from the first skill will be pretty nice to have. With how it kind of correlates pretty nicely with the counter-attack. I feel like on PvP this could get very interesting with the release of Luck himself. No, not Luck, sorry, with Mars. But again, I've been doing a little bit of testing just over here, just kind of trying to get a vibe and feel with it. I don't think it's anything too crazy, if I'm being honest, boys. If I'm being completely honest. What is that? Ah, he becomes weaker because he's exhausted. Well, I mean, if that's not a good time to ult, then I know what is. So, let's go for it. But yeah, I think I made the smart choice of actually going more for, what do you call it? Mimosa dupes. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and go out on my way to dupe William. I think I'm comfortable with the position that he's in. Yeah, I think I'm happy with where he's in. I will say, yeah, that first skill was pretty nice. I will say, okay, that's fine. I'm actually gonna. Do I want to apply the fortify here? Yeah, let's get the fortify going just to make sure that my team is solid. But between Charlotte and William, the survivability for the team is pretty disgusting. I want to say, what are we missing? I feel like where Charmy is, maybe there's another counter-attacking unit. Is Zora going to do anything for this team? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm comfortable leaving with where William is at right now, and I think me going more for Mimosa was the better choice. I'm finding more success and more enjoyment from Mimosa than I am with William. I will say that. Yeah, I think that's kind of like where I'm going to leave things at on what I think between the two. That is. I will say with the release of William, it was kind of needed. I mean, attack to cater to the counter-attacking meta. I think that's kind of spot on because you got your supportive play, you've got the offensive. Oh my god, wait a minute. Is Charmy? Okay, I was going to say Charmy better come in next because I am in. Luck is on the verge of death right now. But yeah, William is pitch perfect on that defensive role. You've got. I don't know, Charlotte also comes across as like an all-rounder support type, including in the defense department. That's interesting. But either way, yeah, Charlotte picture perfect with her role. We've got the attacker, we've got the defender. I feel like we're just missing another counter-attacking unit just to support us in a way. Although, in no way am I going to say, you know, with the release of William, he's bad. He has his role. It's been effectively used from helping out a specific meta, which I understand that from what the developers are trying to do is that they are trying to push it and trying to get something fresh in, something new in. But I don't know. It's just not fitting. It's just not fitting. Who knows? Maybe with the introduction of William, the upper league the JP players are making good use of it. But I don't know. I'm just not really. It's not hitting as I thought it would be. I think that's the thing. But we'll do the ultimate once again. So the counter attacking is on a lot more, and we're able to absorb a lot more, which is beautiful, right? And then of course we can bump our attacks here, beautiful. Then we can just keep up with the consistency in the healing, so that way we can absorb more. There we go. And then yeah, we just kind of keep going in. There you go. And then William coming with his first skill. There's that counter attack. Give that 8 plus 8%. I mean, his damage output is near to nothing, but he has his role to play, and it's actually playing beautifully for the counter attack. But I think my overall thoughts is that with William coming in, it's pretty much of a mid-tier type of character. Now obviously the way they designed him is for the counter attacking meta, and I will say, speaking about it in that perspective, he's actually a fantastic defender supporting the counter attacking meta. You know, he's providing the extension on the counter attack, which can now be applied and pretty much stayed onto our allies for a decent amount of time for us to actually utilize the counter attackingness. But the key factor is that he now provides survivability for the counter attacking meta. Now it's unfortunate that it really doesn't get used as much, to be honest, from what I've seen. However, he is a key character for this specific meta, so in that sense, I understand the role that he plays, I understand the release of this character, and I do find him useful if this is a meta that you want to cater to and utilize. You know, at that point, yes, William is a character that I will say is needed. Now, like I said, counter-attacking, you don't typically ever see that, so I'm not too sure how far it will go. However, you know, with that specific meta, there are characters for it, and William is I would say a character needed for it, if that's what you're all wanting. But either way, solid character. Again, I will say, if you really want to make good use of it, I mean, getting the passives going, that does help out luck a lot. So that way you can actually get the damage off too, pretty nicely. But I mean, yeah, it's there. It's there. I guess if we just have a counter-attacking healer, could that be something? Is that what we're missing? A counter-attacking healer? Is that it? Or am I tripping? Are we missing another counter-attacking unit? Who knows? But anyway, boys, I think I'll leave it there. I think I've said my piece on what I think about it, and I've experimented enough to kind of get a vibe and a feel for William himself and how to kind of use him and whatnot. So I think I'm comfortable now hopping on PvP and actually really, because again, I do believe that this counter-attacking meta truly is way more beneficial and probably would be more, I think it's going to be more active and more better over on PvP. I think that's kind of the judgment that I'm going to make. But yeah, I think I'll leave it there. So overall, between the two, I think for me personally, Mimosa was the better play. But I'm not going to discredit William in any type of way, because he is a character needed, I will say, for the counter-attacking meta, I will say.